Alrighty, y'all. We're gonna Joe's Retro World. Today, we're gonna take a look at the Super Game Boy versus the Super Nintendo and Super Famicom. Alright, as you can see, I got three different variations. All three of these are Super Game Boys. The only difference is this is for the Super Famicom, only for the Japanese, release. So I went ahead and got this one imported. Also, this is the American version of the Super Game Boy. This is actually part one because there is a Super Game Boy 2, as you can see back here. And this one, of course, being an American one, I got it here in the United States, and you can find them pretty much 35 to 40 bucks. This one was a little beat up, just a little dirty, so I just cleaned it up real good. And yeah, it was working with a few Q-tips and a little bit of alcohol, and that was it. And then for this Famicom one, because nobody really likes the Japanese versions of game systems, I really don't know why. They are real cheap. This one I got for actually $15 total. It was $10 plus $5 shipping, so I got it. Got it here in 3 days, and the seller had imported it from Japan. You can see it's all in Japanese there, and yeah, it works great. It works the same way as actually the American version. The only difference is one is curved and designed for the Famicom, one is for the Super Nintendo. Now, I can play this one on my Super Nintendo system because I did break the little clips, making it possible for me to play Japanese games. And so the other day, I got this in the mail. I've been waiting 5 weeks now, and due to the hurricane, it got stuck in Florida. So yeah, I feel sorry for all those poor people that lost their homes and stuff. I send my love out to Florida. And but it finally came in the mail, and it was directly from Japan because they only did release the Super Game Boy 2 in Japan. I don't know why they keep doing that. They just like to hoard all the good stuff. But the box is pretty good. Came out nice and clean. It was $59 total after taxes and everything. Yeah. The seller was like, yeah, I'm sending it out. And just took a little longer, but it finally did show up. Look at it. It's like almost brand new. It was dirty. I did have to clean it with the 1-Up little pad, so you can scrub it. Scrub the little brass inserts. I took it apart, cleaned it over here with a toothbrush, just so to make sure that it had good contact with my games. But as you can see, it's brand new. Now, the thing with the Super Game Boy 2, it did some upgrades. One of them was this port right here on the side. Now, this port was designed so you can do data transfer from one DMG, the Game Boy down there. Yeah, you can do your data transfer from your Pokemon game to somebody's Pokemon game that was connected to the Super Game Boy. So yeah, if you were playing it on the TV, you were able to hook it up with your data cable and just swap over your game stuff, whatever, characters, whatever it is, save states, and all that good stuff to the other cart. Yeah, it was pretty nice. Oh, and then the other thing the Super Game Boy 2 did was when the Super Game Boy came out originally right here, part one, it overclocked the game. The DMG runs at a certain speed because it was a DMG and it was like low technology, right? So it couldn't go real fast. So everybody who plays a Game Boy game knows it goes slow. Well, these actually overclocked it just a little bit, so the game was running kind of fast. That error was corrected in the Super Game Boy 2. They fixed that so it makes it run to the same speed as the DMG would, with the game being played there than on the Super Nintendo. So yeah, Super Game Boy 2, big upgrade, link cable, clock speed corrected, and look at this. Look at this. This is just too beautiful. I mean, even look at the American version, just a big old Optimus Prime looking thing. This one's all sexy. But they all play the same games. Everything fits in all of them. Okay. It will play also multi-carts. So yeah, you don't have to worry about that. Hey, is it compatible? Yeah, it'll work. It'll work the same way. So I'm going to show you this gameplay, but I want to go ahead and finish showing you what came in the box here. As you can see, it came in with just a little paperwork. Send me one. This is for plugging up the Super Famicom, I believe, because that's the back of it right there. I can tell from the adapter. And I guess these are instructions about how to use the Super Game Boy 2 or something. I don't know. There it is. You can translate it. Let me know in the comment below. But yeah, it's beautiful. I got all three now. And so now I can put my collection together and display all three of them together. All beautiful. But before we go do some gameplay, I want to show you. Now, this is a regular Game Boy game. And as you can see, on the front, it just has a little window of a kid playing the DMG. Let's see if I can get it to focus on there. There you go. It says Game Pack. Game Boy Game Pack. Yeah, so that was the official little seal. But if you look at this one with Daffy Duck, it actually says Super Game Boy Game Pack. Now, what that means is it has enhanced colors and borders specifically made for this game. Now, there was about 10 games that came out with it. Not too many. I think there may be 20 total. But yeah, the developers said it wasn't worth it. So there was only a few games that came out with those special borders. And I'll show you what I'm talking about, because when you play a Super Game Boy on your Super Nintendo or Super Famicom, it does show a beautiful little screen. So let me show you that. The Super Game Boy 2 has its own awesome startup screen. And then I'll show you those beautiful special screens for the games. All right, let's hook everything up down there to my beautiful all white Super Nintendo that I custom painted myself. Yep. All right, so that's how a Super Game Boy Part 1 with a regular game starts up at. So let me go ahead and pop in that Daffy Duck game and show you what the special colors and borders pop up with this. And the game even has other colors that the other games don't have. I mean, it does add color to it somewhat to each game by itself with a regular border, but these games right here itself have special colors that go with it too. Let me go ahead and show you real quick just a little bit of gameplay on this one and show you what I mean. You can even change the color palette. It's cool. See, right now it's like an orangey color. I push the X button on my controller and it changes it to that color palette. I like that one. So this is what the Super Game Boy did for us. It gave us a beautiful way of playing your Game Boy games, especially on the big screen. This is so nice. You know, it'd be having to just hold that controller in your hand, you know, and it was heavy. The DMG is heavy. All 4 batteries, shoot. And you sitting there holding it for hours playing. Yeah, if you were like me playing Super Mario World, trying to beat it, yeah, you were sitting there playing for at least an hour or two. But this is what the Super Game Boy did for us. Gave us this beautiful multicolor. But as you can see, my character actually is moving a little fast. This is because it's overclocked on the Super Game Boy. Alright, let me go ahead and show you what it looks like on a Super Game Boy 2 intro. The border design changed. Look at that. The Nintendo thing changed. Alright, so of course both of them still do the color change and add on to the game itself. But as you can see, it said Super Game Boy 2. Nice, beautiful animation. And here's Kirby Dream Land. Just a wholesome, beautiful little game. Now this is running at the correct speed. So this is just like if you were playing it on your DMG, Game Boy DMG. Now this one you can't change the color with The X button. I think it's because it wasn't special. It didn't have that special border. Well, let me go show you a couple more games that have that special border because it's awesome. It's just beautiful the way it looks. All right, let's go get those other games. And I'm gonna show you them on the Super Game Boy too, just because I love the look of it, the form factor, and just the intro. You know, it adds that to it. Here's another game, Castlevania Legends. Yeah, I love the way it changes color like that. It goes to looking almost like the original DMG look. Now we ain't gotta look through all that. Just want to look at some gameplay. Now you can change color palette on this one since it does have that border. Hit the X button, it'll go back and forth through these two colors. I like the red. I don't know if that's just me liking the color red. Oh, I'm about to die quick. The green does look good though. All right, let me go show you another game that looks just as beautiful. And I didn't even know they made it for the DMG until I did this video. All right, let's go check it out. Look at this. Street Fighter 2 for the DMG. Now this one did deserve those beautiful borders and colors and all that. It really did. And I was so amazed that they made this game for it. Look at this. All right, let's see. Each character had their own border. Oh, look at that. Zangief. Oh, this is awesome, y'all. You gotta love the way it looks. See if I can get him. I'll get him with that fireball. See if I'm gonna get this dragon punch. Get him with the dragon punch. Oh, you're good. Fireball. Look how beautiful that is, y'all. So when this came out and they did the commercial for it and I seen it, I was just blown away. I was like, oh man, we can play all of our great Game Boy games because my brother had Tetris and all these other games. And I loved it. He had Zelda. And it was just awesome to be able to play them all the time with the DMG, but then to play them on the beautiful big screen like this, it was just better. Man, it was even better. And I didn't even know they had this game. Look how cool this looks, man. If you love Street Fighter, you're gonna love this one. Look at this. Oh, get the Dragon Punch. Oh, let's do it again. See if I can do a roundhouse. There you go, baby. I won. That's nice, nice. Let me show you one last game. It doesn't have a border, but it just looks beautiful to be played on this Super Game Boy. Even if you play it on the Super Game Boy 1 or the 2, it doesn't really matter. Yes, the clock speed is a little faster. You can buy a You can buy a chip, a mod for that, to put it on there and actually fix that overclocking. It'll put it back to the correct speed. But that's another video for another day. Let me go ahead and show you that last game. Contra Alien Wars. Look at that. This was available years ago. Look how smooth and fast it plays. Oh, the color palette does change too. Nice. Looks just like the Super NES version. You gotta admit, this is pretty nice. This is just crazy. It's like a perfect port. Oh. Oh no. Oh. Oh, I made it to the end and it died. But alrighty, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this review of the Super Game Boy. Go out there, find yours, love it, play it, do as much as you can with it. I love playing on mine. It's the only way to play the Game Boy. I mean, you can emulate it, but it won't look just as beautiful. And I am using a Chip 1 Super Nintendo with HD Retrovision component cables going to, like I said, a commercial Toshiba 36A43 TV and a Ikegami TM20 90R broadcast and video monitor. All right, y'all. Until next time, peace and much love from Joe's Retro World.